Hello, and welcome to the 2023 Bookish Awards. I'm your host, Angela, and tonight you're in for a treat. Today we're going to be going through my Bookish Awards. I came up with them myself, and we're going to be talking about different categories ranging from Best Book Boyfriend to Ultimate Villain to Best Book of 2023 and a few others. So grab a snack, grab a treat. I'm very excited. Let's get into it. The first category of the night is the book that absolutely messed me up. In this category, I'm going to be talking about books that ripped my heart from my chest and still have not returned my heart back to me. These books played with my emotions as if they were a toy. These are the books, okay? Some of them I cried, some of them I just stared at the wall. These are the types of books I'm talking about. The first nominee is Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. This book is heavy, so if you have not read this book, please check your trigger warnings. I did not, okay? I wasn't ready. This book follows Iris and August. They meet in a bar and they connect, but it doesn't go anywhere. She's got a boyfriend. She shuts it down. But we follow them over the next few years. And as well as following them over the next few years, we follow Iris, who's the female main character, and we follow her current relationship. And that relationship is very, very heavy, very, very difficult to read through. But it's told so beautifully. It makes you feel all the emotions in the whole entire world. I don't know if I would recommend the book because it is that heavy, but I mean, I read it and it was heartbreaking. So it's a nominee in this category. The next nominee in the Book That Messed Me Up award is Beartown by Frederick Backman. I've spoken about this book before on my channel, but this book made me feel all the emotions. If you're not aware of this book follows a town called Beartown. And it's very, very cold in this town and they're not doing very well economically. So they used to have a few schools, now they only have one. They used to have a few supermarkets, they only have one. But everything is riding on this hockey team. And if the hockey team does well, the economy will do well because people will come and watch them play. So because of that, people ignore very, very red flags in the hopes of not messing up what's going on with the hockey team. And it is heartbreaking to watch. It is very, very gut-wrenching. But the story is told so well. You really connect with a lot of these characters. And this book played with my emotions as if they were a toy. Yeah. So the next nominee is Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home is the third book in the Magnolia Parks universe, but it's the second Magnolia book. This book, I stared at a wall for 10 minutes after I read it, okay? That should hopefully tell you all you need to know. This book played me like a fool, okay? I just wasn't expecting everything that happened within the book. It was crazy. It was an emotional roller coaster. I don't want to give too much away, but hopefully I articulated myself okay. And then the fourth and final nominee for this category is Daisy Hates The Great Undoing, which is in the exact same universe as the book before, but both of them played with my emotions. So both of them are nominees, okay? This book is similar to Magnolia Parks. However, the reasons why it destroyed me are completely different. So Jessa Hastings, the author, just wanted to play with me all around. And the winner of the book that messed me up completely is Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. This book destroyed me completely. I wasn't joking. I just stared at a wall after this book was done. I'm not okay now. Okay, so category 2. The next category up is the Stupidest Book of the Year. Now, you might be thinking stupid means bad. Not necessarily. I don't hate all the books that are in this category. However, when I say stupid, I mean either the plot doesn't make sense or the book was so stupidly unrealistic and you're kind of insulting my intelligence by telling me this story. That's what I mean by stupid, okay? Sometimes I'm okay with, living in Delulu land, but that's what I mean when I say stupid, okay? Cool, great. The nominees are, the first nominee is King of Wrath by Anna Huang. This book is about Vivian and Dante and they have an arranged marriage and somehow fall in love. And that somehow is big, bold and underlined, okay? I think it's stupid. I am just not convinced, okay? He didn't even talk to her. Like, there was barely any interaction between the two. I'm not convinced that he even knew her name, let alone fell in love with her and was doing up my wife. I just didn't buy it. There's just no reason for them to be in love. Stop it. And the next nominee is Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is the first book in the Never After series, which is dark, Disney retelling. So this is Hooked, so Captain Hook, so like Peter Pan retelling, kind of, not really. And I actually really enjoyed this book. So it's weird that it's in the Stupidest Book, but it is stupid. Okay, everything that happens in this book is dumb. We follow James, whose nickname is Hook, and he has this arch nemesis who doesn't even know he exists, who's called James. And what does he do? Dun dun dun, he gets with his daughter as revenge. And what happens next? They fall in love. Now, you might be thinking, oh, that's what's stupid. Yeah, that sounds... No, that's not even what I'm talking about, okay? The ending was the most predictable, annoying piece of... I don't even want to cuss this book out too much that I've ever read in my whole entire life. Loved the book, though. I still love the book, but this book was absolute cringe, and I loved it. I ate it up. And the next nominee is A Not So Meet Cute. This book is absolutely hilarious. Okay, in this book, we have a guy, right? And he wants this business deal with this man. But this man is like very, very protective over who he does business with. He only works with people he trusts. So this guy is like, oh, you can trust me. I've got a fiance and she's pregnant. Then on the other side of town, we've got Sis over here, right? This girl. And, you know, she works for her best friend's company. She was supposed to get a promotion, but then she got fired. Oh no. Whoopsie-doo. And she's supposed to move out and she's got a lot of uni debt. So she decides, okay, I'm just going to walk the street, okay, and find a rich man to take care of me. So she crosses the road, she goes to the rich side of town and she does a little walkie walk, right? And she bumps into a guy. Who does she bump into? She bumps into the guy that says, yo, I have a pregnant fiance. And then they form a plan, okay? He pays her. She pretends to be the pregnant fiance and everybody's issues are solved. And then what happens? They fall in. I love this book. I love it. This book is so dumb. This book is so dumb. I love it. I love it. And the last nominee of this category is Their Vicious Games by Joelle Wellington, I believe. This book follows Adina. She's a high school student and her life is... It's going a bit not the way she planned, okay? She got accepted into Yale, but her offer has been rescinded because of some drama that went down. So she's down on her luck, she's down in the dumps, she's very, very stressed. However, luckily, she gets invited to these prestigious games for young women. And in these prestigious games, you're supposed to compete, and the winner basically gets favor with the rich family in town. And the rich family in town has the influence to call up Yale and say, let my good sis back in right now. And Yale will be like, you got it bad, B. I'm gonna do that, okay? You might be thinking, that's what's stupid? No, we're not even there yet. When she gets there, she finds out that all is not as it seems, okay? These aren't just silly little games. These games are high stakes, okay? High stakes. You would think that everybody else is like Adina. They're not from rich families. They don't have a lot of influence. No, these families aren't like Adina's at all. These families are millionaires, okay? These are millionaires that are sending their daughters to these high stakes games where they could, right? So they have money, they have power, they have influence, but they still send their daughters here to fight for a little bit more money and a little bit. It's wild, I'm sorry. And the winner is Their Vicious Games. I think that was obvious. I do. Okay, and the next category is the most disappointing read of 2023. Now, disappointing doesn't mean worst book of the year. I'm not just going to sit here and say, this was my worst book of the year. But it does mean I was super hyped for this book, whether that be because I've already started the series and it's the next one, or somebody recommended it, or I saw it online, but it just fell flat for me. It just wasn't what I was expecting, and I was disappointed. So not necessarily the worst books of the year, but just my expectations were here, it sat here. And the nominees are... Okay, the girlies are going to kill me for this one. I'm already bracing for impact, but Once Upon a Broken Heart, I know. I wanted to love it, guys. I did. I really, really did. I just didn't get it. I think I DNF'd it around 40%. And I watched a video and someone said, you have to get to the 50% mark. And I'm just like, why? Why do I have to read half a book for me to be entertained? No, it wasn't for me. Everyone describes this book as having the most magical writing. And I don't think the writing was magical. I think the world was. I don't know if I'm explaining this well. But like she would say, you know, there are tiny little dragons, okay? But she wasn't describing things magically. She was just stating that this magical thing is happening and this magical... I just felt like I was being told to look here, 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 and here. And I just didn't get the magical, beautiful story. I'm sorry if I'm not explaining this well, but I DNF this book. It just wasn't for me. I tried my best. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. Please stay. Please stay. And the next nominee is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I read Fourth Wing in 2023, as I'm sure a lot of you did, and I loved it. It was my first ever fantasy. I was there for the vibes. I was thoroughly enjoying myself, and I literally put a reminder of the date that the next book dropped, which is Iron Flame. And it came, and I DNF'd it at 11%. It just wasn't the same, okay? Violet, who's the main character, was this... I loved her. She was one of my favourite female main characters this year, or 2023, because she just said what she felt, she tried her best, and she was just that girl. Whereas in this book, she was just crying all the time. She was just complaining all the time. And they were just talking about so many new characters. Oh, and don't even get me started on the amount of new characters. I know it's a high fantasy book. I know there's supposed to be a lot of characters, but I felt it was just being dumped and dumped and dumped. And I was just reading this book and I was just like...
I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing.
And there was just so many words. I DNF'd it. I couldn't do it. I don't know. Unless someone tells me that the third book is the best book in the world, I don't see myself jumping back into this series. I'm done. Okay, and the next disappointing read is Blockshot by Kennedy Ryan. This book is after Longshot. So I was super excited because I gave Longshot 5 stars, so I thought I was just going to jump straight into this and love it. I didn't. I don't think I've ever wanted a couple's demise so much in my life. They just weren't for me. So the final nominee in this category is actually probably a surprise, but it's Magnolia Parks, which is the first book. And I know I've said that I loved the third book and the fourth book, but I really, really did not like this series when I started out. It just wasn't for me. People say that these books are like Gossip Girl, and they're right. I just didn't listen. In Gossip Girl, it takes you a while to love, all the characters. Well, not all the characters. I still hate Serena, but it takes you a while to love some of the characters. Whereas in Magnolia Parks, I was expecting to love them. Even though, yes, they were toxic, I was expecting to love them. And I didn't until the books went on. So I don't think I gave it the right mind frame in the beginning. So after I read this book, I was just disappointed because it was so overhyped. I love it now. We're cool now. We're all besties now. Not all, but mainly besties now. But yeah, initially, very disappointing read for me, but things change. And the winner of this category is Iron Flame. Okay, this was a big fat L for me. I sat there, I waited for this book, and I couldn't even get more than 11% into it. It just didn't hit. It just didn't hit. I was disappointed. I was sad. Okay. The next category is the ultimate book boyfriend. Now I have a good lineup. I do. Book boyfriend number 1. I'm sure this is not going to come as a surprise. Book boyfriend number 1 is Ryan Shea from The Right Move. This man learnt sign language so that he can communicate with her dad. They were fake dating, okay? And they went camping and he made sure to bring veggie options because she's a vegetarian. She didn't even think of that, okay? He's thoughtful. She told him one time that she likes her coffee cold. And every morning after that, okay, every morning, she wakes up, opens the fridge, her coffee is right there. She loves to read, okay, and she has all her books on the floor. So he bought a bookshelf and he built it for her and he put all her... And the next nominee is Malachi from Honey and Spice. This book is a little bit cringe, but I absolutely loved it, okay? Malachi is one of the most attentive book boyfriends I have read about this year. One example is she told him months ago, okay? She told him months ago that this is her favorite book in the whole entire world and that she usually goes to this convention, but she's not going to go this year. And he came to her room, okay? No, he came to her window, not even her room, her window, okay? And he was dressed up as the male main character from her favorite book. And he said, "Go get dressed. I'm taking you to this convention." And the next nominee is Rowan from Butcher and Blackbird. Okay, in this book we follow two serial killers, and she doesn't think that he likes her, but she did this drawing one day in his restaurant, and then he picks up the drawing, and he went home and he got the drawing tattooed like all across his back, like the whole time. And this was years ago, and she didn't even know. She didn't. And he also, for her, that's a man right there. That was a joke. Okay, and the next nominee, I've got 5 in this category, and the next nominee is Julian Hates from Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. Is he technically anybody's boyfriend? No, but he's mine. That's it. I'm sorry if you can hear the fireworks, by the way. I'm just going to roll with it. And the final nominee from this category is Roman Kitt from Divine Rivals. Okay, this man went across towns, okay, and traveled to battlefields in the hopes of finding this woman. The hopes, not the certainty, the hopes. Oh, these men. And the winner is Rowan from Butcher and Blackbird. And yes, I envisioned him as Elijah Michelson the whole time. Yeah. Okay, and the next category is series that I read this year. So to be a part of this category, you had to be a series that I read the whole series or every single book that is currently out so far. So number 1 is Harry Potter. I know. Okay, I know it came out forever ago, but I read it this year. Okay, I read all the books and watched I'm not done yet, but almost all the movies this year. This was the time that I decided to jump into the Harry Potter universe, and I am not mad. I absolutely loved it. So yes. Bit outdated, but we're just gonna roll with it. And the next nominee is the Windy City series by Liz Tomford. These books are sport romances. The first book is Mile High, and we follow hockey. The second book is a basketball romance, and that is The Right Move. And the third book and the last book that's currently out right now is Caught Up, and that is a baseball romance. All of these books are amazing. My favorite romance series of this year. 100%. Each book follows a different couple, but each of the couples end up becoming friends, so it's kind of like a found family. And when you read all the books, you see all the other characters and how they're doing, and it's just so wholesome. I love it. The next nominee / series I finished this year is the Magnolia Park series. There's currently 4 books out. I know there's another one out early next year, and there should be more, I think. This is a surprise to me. Okay, I hated this series when I started, but it completely grew on me. I did a complete 180. I absolutely love this series now. It has my heart. It really has my heart. And the 4th nominee just about made the cut because I finished it like 3 days ago, but I finished it in 2023, so it counts. And that is the Divine Rivals duology. So the first book is Divine Rivals, and the second book is Ruthless Vows, and I loved them both. These are romance books, but they're also fantasy. The 2 main characters communicate via magical typewriter, and this is what you call magical writing. The writing is absolutely beautiful. The romance is absolutely beautiful, and the second book it follows the same vibe as the first book. It's not disappointing whatsoever. It was a great end to the series. I loved it. And the winner of this category, which is the biggest plot twist in the world for me, is Magnolia Parks. I think about that series almost every single day. I can't believe it. I'm shocked, but amazing. Okay, and the next category is Best Book Couple. Now, when I say Best Book Couple, I don't mean, they met and then they fall in love, blah, blah, blah. No. Okay, no. What I mean is these people were destined to be together, okay? The earth would have pulled them together no matter where they were, okay? No matter where they were on earth, they would have been together. They are made for each other. They are soulmates. Their love is so, so strong. And they love each other, not because they had, this experience or they were born in this town. No, soulmates, couple. Roll the tapes. Okay, so the first couple in this category is Clementine and Iwan. I think that's how you say his name. I'm not sure. I apologize if I'm wrong. This couple is in the 7-year slip. This man is the definition of a golden retriever. When she walks into the room, his whole world lights up. And he gives her the cutest nickname. Okay, her name is Clementine. And he calls her Lemon. This book shows that this couple can stand the test of time. This is that couple, okay? They are that couple for me. I love them. I love them. The next couple in this category is Daisy and Christian from the Daisy Hates part of the Magnolia Parks universe. I love this couple so much. This couple didn't even want to get together, mean to get together. This was a complete accident. They were both kind of in love with other people at the time, but their connection was just so genuine and so strong. And as we follow them throughout, you know, they date other people, they see other people, but they're always drawn back to each other. I genuinely believe that they would have found themselves in any situation, like even if, you know, they weren't connected the way that they're connected. I believe their love is so strong, and chef's kiss. And the next nominee is Shane and Ava from 7 Days in June. I loved this book and I loved this couple. This couple met, I want to say 15 years ago at school or something, and they had this 1 week together in June. That was all they had. They had this 1 week and then the world pulled them apart and they haven't seen each other since. And over that course of that 15 years, okay, they've both become successful authors, different authors, but both successful. And all their books, okay, are about each other, okay? Not explicitly, but they're about each other. So they're basically communicating through their books over the next 15 years. And then they meet 15 years later. They do. This book is beautiful. This book is so beautiful. And they're just meant to be together. You can't convince me otherwise. They would have found each other in every single lifetime. How did you know each other 15 years ago? You've been married since, you've done other things, you've both been... And you're still writing about him. Stop it. Soulmates. Okay, and the final nominee is Sloane and Rowan from Butcher and Blackbird. This couple are both serial killers, and they both kill for the exact same reason, okay? I don't think I need to go any further, okay? He absolutely adores her, okay? I think I've already mentioned, depending on how I do the order, that he's already got her drawing tattooed on his back, okay? For her. And they're both crazy in the same way. Kind of for the greater good. They are destined to be together. You can't, let's come on now. I've given you the science. Soulmates. And the winner from this category is Sloane and Rowan from Butcher and Blackbird. Yes, disturbed people need happiness too. And the next category is the ultimate villain. These books aren't necessarily the villain of the story, because if I told you the villain of the story, a lot of the times I would be giving you spoilers. And they're not necessarily people I'm supposed to hate. I just do. These are people I hate with a passion. The author might not have intended it to be that way, but I hate you. And that's why you're in this category. Okay, great. The girlies are going to be mad at me for this one. I know, I'm bracing myself for impact. Okay, but the first one is BJ from Magnolia Parks. Yep. I said it. Yep, that guy's a dickhead, okay? How are you telling me, or how are you telling her, I should say, that you love her, that she is the love of your life, okay? That you cannot breathe when she's not near. You're getting tattoos of her all over your body, but you're sleeping with every single person that bats their eyelashes at you. Stop it. Don't aggravate me. Do not upset me. And the next villain is in the book Verity. Do you think I'm talking about Verity? I'm not. I'm talking about Lowen, the main character in this book. No, she's a villain to me, okay? She had a job to do. She was supposed to come in and she was supposed to finish a book. That was her job. Why you're here snooping around, I don't know. Why you're here sleeping with him, I don't know. Why you're being super nosy, I don't know. Why you're sticking your nose in family business, I don't know. You're weird. You're weird and you're a villain, okay? Let's not paint the picture that you're some innocent, oh, woe is me. No. Do your job, you weirdo, okay? I'm not saying that Verity wasn't messed up, okay? She was. But she wasn't the only psycho in that book, okay? Do your job and go home. The next villains are both of them, the two main characters from Blockshot. I hated them with every fibre in my being, okay? These characters upset me to my core. I have never not cheered for a couple, so like I want their downfall, okay? It's not about cheering, I want their downfall, okay? They are so selfish, so inconsiderate, everything, all the bad words, all of them. That's what they are. Their lack of compassion and their lack of respect is completely wild. It's wild. I hope they stay together, but they slowly turn each other crazy. That's my wish for them. And the next villain is Kelsey from the book So Not Meant to Be by Megan Quinn. I absolutely hated this character with a passion. She is extremely rude. She's extremely disrespectful. She's an insufferable, whiny brat. And yeah, if she has no enemies, I'm dead. Yes, I get it. You want your fairy tale, but there's no reason to be a prick. I absolutely hate her. I wish her the worst. And he can do better. He can do better. JP, move on. Move on. And the final villain, I think this is the only villain that's supposed to be a villain out of the ones that I've mentioned, but the final villain is June from Yellowface. I know she was supposed to be an insufferable character, and RF Kwang, you did that well. She was the most insufferable character ever. She was a pain to read. That book was painful to get through. That doesn't mean it was bad, she was very insufferable. If you haven't heard about Yellowface, it's basically a book about this author. She has an author best friend. The author best friend is doing a lot better than her, and she dies by choking. This is within the first line of the book, so it's not a spoiler. And what does she do? She steals her manuscript and sells it for her own. But the book is about Chinese culture, and she is not Chinese, and she's passing it off as if she were her. She even changes her last name to make it seem Asian. She's just a walking red flag, and it was really painful to read, but that was kind of the point of the book. And the villains of the year are Jared and Banner from Blockshot. I hate them. I hate them. I do not wish them happily ever after. I do not wish them anything good. I hate them so much. I wish them the worst. They are the villains of the year. I don't recommend you cross paths with them because they will kill you if they get the chance. They are evil people. Be wary. I've told you so. I've warned you. Okay, so the next category is the best story. And when I say best story, I mean I believe you. I believe we are in this world. I believe that this has happened. I am fully convinced. And the way the story is told is just so amazing, so believable. I feel like I'm in it. 10 out of 10, amazing story. And the nominees are, number 1, Daisy Jones and the Six. Taylor Jenkins Reid did well. Taylor Jenkins Reid did so well. I fully could believe that this was a real band. This really happened. It was so believable, so amazing. The storytelling was absolutely phenomenal. The book is written in an interview style, and I just thought that was so creative, and it was so well told. I 1000% recommend that book if you haven't read it yet. It's also a series, and I thought the series was phenomenal too. The next book in this category, I've already mentioned it in one of the other awards, is Beartown by Frederick Backman. I believed that this is a little cold town somewhere. It's so believable. We go so into depth with these characters. How could they not be real? How could they not be real? Amazing book. The next book in this category is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is crazy that Taylor Jenkins Reid has secured 2 spots in this nomination, but are we sure that Evelyn Hugo didn't exist? This book was told so well. This book is about Evelyn. She's got 7 husbands. Each husband had a purpose, and we're learning about her life. And it's so amazingly well told. Amazing. Chef's kiss. Amazing. Flowers. There you go. And finally, we have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This book is the same as the others, okay? I believe that this is real. We go so into depth with these characters, and I don't even know if I like any of these characters. They're so complex, but it's so believable, and the story was told so well. And the way that this book jumps through timelines is phenomenal. We jump into the past and we learn about them. We're in present day sometimes. It's just executed so well. The storytelling, amazing. And the winner is Daisy Jones and the Six. I think that this was the most believable story for me. If someone was to tell me that this band exists, I'm not going to fight with you. Amazing. Well done. Worthy win. Okay. Now is the moment that we have all been waiting for. This is where we crown the best book, in my opinion, of 2023. I am excited. I don't think this category needs any further introduction. Let's just jump into it. I have narrowed this down to 3 books and 3 books only. Let's not waste time. Let's get into it. Book number 1. I have raved about this book. I have. It is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I love this book so much. This book was the biggest surprise. If there was a surprising award, it would go to this book because I had no expectations going into it. This book follows Clementine. She's got this job. She's living in this high-rise apartment, but she's grieving because she's just lost her aunt and she's moved into her apartment. This apartment is magical and it slips 7 years into the past, 7 years into the future. And she just learns about herself. She falls in love. And I don't know, I just connected so well with this book. This book was everything to me. I don't want to rave about it too much because I have spoken about it on my channel before. And I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but this book was everything. I absolutely loved it. Chef's kiss, 6 stars. The next book is the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey, which I think is supposed to spell stabby, which is quite funny. When I read this book, this was the first book out of the 3 nominees that I read. When I read this book, I was sure that nothing else would beat this book. I absolutely fell in love with it. This book has plot. This book has characters. This book is amazing. This book follows a serial killer and an FBI agent, and he is the lead FBI agent on her case. And he has absolutely no clue, and he's basically following her, and you're watching them fall in love, and you're watching the background, but she has a reason for committing the crimes that she is committing, and you're going to be on her side, okay? This is absolutely heartbreaking. It's absolutely amazingly told. It's a story. It's fast-paced. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. Check your trigger warnings. Check them. It's a bit dark, but it's amazing. And the final nominee is Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. This book had sprinkles of crack in it, okay, and I ate it up. Actually, that makes it sound like I do drugs. I don't promise, okay. But this book was amazing. This book, I wasn't expecting it. This book was everything. This book, you know, 1, I am actually lost for words, but 2, I don't want to give too much away because it's the 4th book in the series. The writing, the quotes will make you sob. But this was one of those books where I just didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't know who was going to end up with who. I didn't know who I wanted these characters to end up with, because you get to know so many people. You get to fall in love with so many people, and your mind is like, oh, I'm rooting for him, but oh, I'm also rooting for them. And it was amazing. Okay, this book deserves an award of some kind. Obviously, it might get one today because this is the most prestigious award show in the world and it's a nominee, so we'll see. But this book was amazing. This book put me in the biggest reading slump of my life. Okay, I was on annual leave in December. Okay, I had so much annual leave. I planned to read so many books. Okay, I read like 4 books that I just DNF'd. And I know I wouldn't have DNF'd them if it wasn't for this book. I was like, no, not good enough. This book was everything to me, okay? I don't even want to go on for too long. This book is the winner, okay? This book is the winner of my best book of 2023. I loved it, which is crazy because I hated the first book. I hate the first 2 books in the series. And Jessa has just made me hate the series to make me think about the series on a daily basis. I get it. I'm part of the Magnolia Park Stan Club. I am with you. I'm a member. I'm sorry for my wrongdoings in the beginning. Amazing. If you haven't read those books, amazing. However, I do want to say all of my top 3 books, The 7-Year Slip recommend, the Mindfuck series recommend, and Daisy Hates recommend. All of my top 3 books. This was probably the hardest one for me to pick. I had to give it to Daisy Hates. Like, I think about it all the time. I think about the others too. This is hard. I'm not going to talk about it for too long because I'm just going to change my mind, but this was the hardest category. Okay, so those are my 2023 Bookish Awards. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. I would absolutely love to have you. And if you could, please pick a category of mine. So maybe best book villain or book boyfriend or whatever. And let me know what your winner is for that category. Yes. Hopefully I can do this again next year. And hopefully I'll pick books that were actually released in 2024. I think that would make more sense. But I didn't read that many new releases this year, so this is what I did. I've enjoyed filming this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching it. Yeah, please stick around. Have a good week and Happy New Year. Before I forget, I hope this year is everything that you want it to be. And I hope that we will see each other again soon. Maybe. Okay, bye.